Good afternoon, students. So, we'll start with our unit number 4. We have finished with our configuration management. Now, we'll start with the another section of the same unit, that is capacity planning. So, please keep your books with you so that you can note down some important points. Now, we'll start. You have to study regarding capacity planning. What is capacity planning? First, we'll see what is capacity. Capacity means it relates to volume, right? And planning is like what you plan. Okay, if you have to make some project, so for that project, if a guide gives you some topic, so for that topic, at the first stage, you will do some planning, right? You are having some 5 members in your group, then for the same, you will decide how to plan your project. Okay, at the first stage you will see what's the main requirements of the project and so on, right? So that is your planning. So over here you just have to see what is capacity planning in total. Okay, you can say that capacity planning is the planning of various kinds of resources. Fine. So the three words are most probably considered in capacity planning, like ability, capability, and capacity. Okay, and you may see that all these terms are used to refer one's power to perform an action. Okay, for example, I'm having two students, student A and student B. Okay, one and I'm given you one book or two books, and I've told you to read it every day according to you and finish it in 1 month. So maybe student A can have the ability to finish the reading of the book in a week, or student B may have the ability to read the book in 2 weeks. Okay, so all this depends on the person, how he abilities are there in that for reading the same. Okay, so this is a short example regarding your ability. Capacity normally it relates to volume and quantities. For here I've given an example of a vehicle fuel. Okay, how much capacity you have, you can fill that much fuel only. Okay, you can't exceed beyond that. Then ability and capacity means to learn capacity. Ability means need to learn capacity. Okay, you can say that capacity is inborn. While what is capability? Capability is the extremes of an ability. Okay, then you can also say that the definition of capacity planning may also go likewise. You may note down. So the definition of capacity planning is it's a process regarding what? A process to forecast the types, the quantities, and timing of critical resource capacities that are needed within an infrastructure to meet accurately. Okay, that is a process, involves the planning of various kinds of resources. There are some points you can say while planning different resource capacities regarding a particular infrastructure, you will consider or you will have to involve some points in your mind at first. Like for instance, size of the resource. It will be a question in your mind. Like what is the size of that resource? Which type of resource it is? Like it is a server, or I have to check for the bandwidth and so on. You can also go for exact timing of when the additional capacity is needed. At the last, you will also get a question in your mind, or the key element in your mind will be like the decision making. the decisions about capacity that are based on sound, which demands for the workload at the same time. Okay, so this is a basic short definition of capacity planning. Later on, you have some reasons for poor capacity planning, due to which the planning of the resources is not done well. So here I have mentioned the two activities in the management of infrastructure overlooked, like documentation and capacity planning. These are the reasons, or you may say these are the two activities in the management of the infrastructure which basically are not done well. Okay, the reason for poor documentation is simple, like few individuals have the ability to produce quality technical writing while few don't have. Like if you consider in a IT service, IT industry, managers do not always help the situation. You may be knowing that many of them do not highlight the importance of documentation. So in this case, the writing of procedures drops to a low priority, right? And is often overlooked and forgotten until the time when it is needed. So basically, what documentation in short is, it's treated as low priority and forgotten until the time when it is needed. This is a basic need or a basic regarding documentation. Okay, you can have a basic list regarding the reasons for poor capacity planning. You can come to know that the planning which I have done for my project in some IT industry, how it is poor. How you are identifying that? We have mentioned some reasons over here. You'll have to learn this all points and you'll have to explain in deep regarding the same. Like the first is, analysts are too busy with day-to-day activities, right? Analysts are who? The system analyst, maybe programmer analyst. Like in IT industry, you have two types of analyst: system analyst and a programmer analyst. These basically are two group of people which most probably are involved in effective capacity planning. Okay, but at the same time, these two groups of analysts are typically the ones who are involved with the day-to-day activities like maintenance, troubleshooting, tuning, any new installations at the same time. While after doing this, after planning, they have some time or they set some time aside for planning the activities. Okay, what you're saying is analysts are too busy. Why they are busy? We are seeing that. Okay, at first you have said that you have two types of analysts in the company: the system analyst and the programmer analyst. At the first stage, you should know that what is a system analyst. Who are the system analysts? System analysts are from the infrastructure area. Okay, keep this in mind. While programmer analysts are from the application development area. I will repeat again. System analysts are from the infrastructure area and programmer analysts are from the application development area. Note down this. And while they are working, not directly they are working, they are planning, and then they go for the same activity, and at the same time they have some little time they keep aside for planning the other activities. Okay, sometimes they assign a group within the infrastructure which will be responsible for capacity planning. Like in case it may start out with only one person designated as the process owner, then this process owner or this individual should be empowered to negotiate with the developers so that they will be assured of executive support from the development side as well. That's why you are saying that this is one of the reason for poor capacity planning, that analysts are too easy. Now we'll see the second one, that is users are not interested in predicting future workloads. It is because the future workloads play a vital role in any IT service or in a IT industry. Like in many cases, there are some cases like where IT professionals and end users tend to focus on strategic issues. Okay, basically their importance is usually on the what's going in present. They don't think of what will come in future. They will just work on what is there in the present situation. Okay, basically you can say that developers can help capacity planners to simplify the basic tendency by explaining to end users and by working with the capacity planners. Okay, what they explain to the end users is how will do the work, how will accurately give the workload so that it will assist in justifying additional computer capacity. And if you consider, like, by working with capacity planners, you'll say to simplify the future workload worksheet, to make it easier for the users, that is for us, so that we can understand it in a proper manner. The third basic poor reason is users who are interested cannot forecast accurately. This is a basic point. Like, the need of to forecast workload increases with the it goes on increasing, it doesn't get decreased, to ensure acceptable future performance. But at the same time, you may see that they do not have the skills or experience or tools to do so. At that time, what they do is they have a joint consultation with both the developers and the capacity planners, who can show users how to do the proper arrangement of the workloads so that it can help to improve the drawback. So this was regarding your users who are interested cannot forecast accurately. The fourth point is capacity planners may be reluctant to use effective measuring tools. That is, the capacity planners who are newly appointed, sometimes they hesitate to use the new or the complex tools. It is like, we'll use the same which is already developed by the industry. We don't have that much time to go for the another one. But they should also use the complex tools for the better results. Cross training must be done. Consultation or a documentation should be done so that it can overcome your issues. Then the fifth is corporate or IT directions may change from year to year. It's one of the most frequent reason. Okay, this corporate or IT directions may change from year to year. It's the most frequent reason for the lack of capacity planning. Why you say that? Because the IT organization changes rapidly, their views changes, their needs go on changing, which at some stage can attempt a strategic capacity planning. You have done some planning, but at some stage, while expanding your organization, the capacity planning which you have decided becomes useless at some point. So in this case, it is true that the corporate mergers or redirections may dramatically alter a capacity plan. Actually, the fact is that the actual process of developing the plan has inherent benefits. That's why you're saying IT directions may change from year to year. Then the sixth is planning is typically not part of an infrastructure culture. Yes. Why it's not a part of infrastructure? Because you have done some planning for your project at a little level. But while you are proceeding further on the higher scale, the planning which you have done usually at a low priority is often or is basically based on your budget. But as you do the planning, the budget issue also gets solved. Okay, so sometimes planning is not a part of your infrastructure. Nowadays, you may see that many infrastructures still have no formal planning activities contract within their groups. This is gradually going on changing with world class infrastructures realizing the necessity and benefits of sound capacity planning. A dedicated planning group for infrastructure basically is suggested for the same. Then the last you have the reason is last, like managers sometimes confuse capacity management with capacity planning. Why this happens? Because you may say that capacity management is planned activity, okay, that focuses on basically the present, neither on the past and neither on the future. The capacity management basically involves optimizing the utilization, or you may say the performance of the resource. Take an example of managing disk space to ensure that maximum use is occurring. But this is not capacity planning, it's capacity management. How you manage it, how you manage the disk space. In short, you may also say capacity planning is strategic activity which focuses only on the future. That's why regarding to that you can work or you can plan an activity that focus on the present so that you can work properly. This was all regarding your capacity planning and regarding the basic reasons for poor capacity planning. That's all. We'll end over here. We'll proceed further lecture regarding how to develop an effective capacity planning process. That's all. Thank you. Bye.